So apparently, feminism have women believing that degrees matter when it comes to mate attraction and mate selection, preferably by men. They believe that men should value degrees and their level of educational attainment, despite the fact that there is no evidence that this has any bearing, any positive bearing actually, on relationship satisfaction or relationship longevity or even the desire to be in a relationship, period. Let's get into it. So when I was on Twitter, I seen an interesting tweet by a woman. She was talking to another guy and she said, "You'd rather be with an 18-year-old pretty girl than a 30-year-old with a master's degree." I'm genuinely shocked. You know what I'm genuinely shocked by? The fact that there are so many women who place such significance on their degrees as a tool to attract men. This is nothing but utter ignorance. Please explain to me how a degree correlates to a successful relationship. I would like to know how many men out there, when you see a woman, the first thing you're interested in is her level of educational attainment. You go, damn, I wonder what kind of degree she got. Maybe a bachelor's. Ooh, she might have a master's. Oh, look at shorty right there. She PhD material all day. She gotta have a PhD. I want parts of that. How many men honestly do that? And it's baffling to me because women project. They have no understanding of male nature, the male psyche, when it comes to mate selection and mate attraction. Apparently they don't. Because there's so many nowadays really believing that the criteria to attract men has to do with their career success, and their educational attainment. Why? Because this is what they are attracted to. You see, women are attracted to these things, and women don't sit back and observe what men actually like and try to be what men actually like. Women think men like what they like in men, and they think that men should find whatever they like in men attractive in them as well. See, there's a lot of women who evidently aren't aware that men and women are sexually dimorphic. And you see, being sexually dimorphic means there are behaviors that correspond to our sexual differences, the dimorphism that we've evolved. You know, the fact that men tend to be visual when it comes to attraction. Yeah, we tend to like women who are aesthetically pleasing. I guess women have lost sight of this. Men tend to like women who have curves. We tend to look for indicators of fertility and fecundity, neoteny, you know? We tend to look for things that says this woman can bear children, you know? Instinctively, innately, that's the first thing that pops in our head. I have no idea where a degree comes into the equation that subconsciously lets a man know that this woman can bear children and this woman is an attractive mate and this woman could potentially be an optimal mate choice. I have no idea how a degree signifies that in any way. So it's really interesting. What's even funnier is the fact that she mentioned an 18-year-old pretty girl versus a 30-year-old with a master's degree. Okay, first of all, let's establish some biological facts here. Women by the age of 18, between the ages of 18 and 24, women are at their reproductive prime. Okay, this is when women tend to look their best. I'm not sure if women are aware, but this is when women tend to look their best, between about the ages of 18 and 24. So most women who are aesthetically pleasing are going to draw the eyes of young men and older men. The 30-year-old with the master's degree, she probably most likely hit a wall. She probably has some emotional baggage. She probably walks the streets like a ghost, unless she is just Calibagian. Unless her body is just Calibagian. And she's just voluptuous. And she's still young in some areas, and her titties aren't sagging, and her ass isn't flabby. She's probably being overlooked. She's also probably a mother. She may have been divorced once or maybe twice. Either way, biology said, nah, go for the pretty 18-year-old. That's instinctive. That is instinctive. Psychologically, biologically. Men like aesthetically pleasing women. Men are turned on by visual stimuli and auditory stimuli. But primarily visual, predominantly visual. So the fact that women believe that a degree would have any significant bearing in terms of how attracted a man is going to be to you because you have a degree makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, let's think about it. You have a degree. You have a master's degree as a woman. What variables significantly correlate to your ability to be an optimal mate choice, a good wife, and a good mother? What degree has a significant correlation to those things? What degree lets me know that you have the attitude and the values that I find attractive? What degree lets me know that you can communicate, you're effective at conflict resolution, you're loyal, you're supportive, you're nurturing, you're caring? Which degrees let me know all this information? Because these are the things that matter to me as a man, and these are the things who are going to matter to most men. Now, you have some simps and some panderers out there, some beta males who might try to say different because, you know, they want to be selected, or they want women to say, oh, you're so sweet. But men who use their logic and who understand their own nature, we know that these are false dichotomies. What does a degree have to do with relationship longevity and relationship satisfaction? You know what's really interesting? Most women who have degrees, they're single. There was an article that came out. I don't remember the source, but there was an article that came out. I remember seeing it on the Rational Mail, and it said by 2021, 50% of women who are between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single. This is interesting because right now, that percentage is at 48. Why? Because women who tend to have degrees and careers, for one, they're in direct competition with men. These are not women that you look to complement your masculinity. These are women who compete with your masculinity by trying to be masculine themselves. So these are not the women that you actually want in your life. They're workaholics. They have careers. They think they know everything. They will tell you they're not that interested in being wives and mothers through their actions alone, because they want being a wife and a mother to take a back burner to them trying to compete with men and prove that they can do everything that men can do and do it better. This is where we're at with it. So it's really interesting because women think they have to be what men have to be in order to attract men, but they don't. Men have to be these things to attract women because nature said this is what kind of man can provide the best environment possible for you to raise children in. Women care about status. Women care about income. That's the reason women date across and up dominance hierarchies. Women tend to only date men who make as much money or more money than they do, no matter how much money they make. Women are rarely ever the breadwinners in their household because they don't select men who make less than them. But men actually are attracted to women who make less than them. You don't need a degree for me to take interest in you. You just have to be sexy. You have to look good. And you have to have an attitude and a perspective and an outlook on life and a mentality that I can work with. A mentality that will help us last and thrive. That's what I care more about. I care more about how loyal you are, how well you communicate, especially through adversity. I care more about how supportive you can be. I care more about how well you can raise my kids rather than your degree in feminism. That doesn't help me whatsoever. If anything, it makes it worse because it has you believe in shit that's not true, that's not reflective of reality. And any man will tell you, most women who have degrees, they constantly brag and boast about it as if you just became the queen or someone because you have a degree. Congratulations, woo-hoo. You passed a couple quizzes and tests and you got a piece of paper for it, and now you're going to go on in the field that you got your degree in that makes no money and that isn't even going to be a significant contributor in terms of income and even remotely close to you becoming the breadwinner in the house. It's really interesting. It's funny. It's absolutely funny. And then women will get upset because men say these aren't the things that men take interest in. You know, women get upset at reality because reality doesn't conform to their ideologies. And they get upset because reality isn't how they believe it should be. They don't step back to think, okay, this is the way it is, so let me change, modify, adapt, whatever I can so that I maximize my potential at being where I want to be and being who I want to be in this world, the way that the world is. No, instead they sit back and complain and bitch and trip over the fact that the world shouldn't be this way. Things shouldn't be this way. Rather than saying things are this way, I'm gonna take it on the chin. Because that's what men do. That's what men do. You see, you have all these women who want to be men and act like men, and they want men to select them on their merits that rival that of men, but they don't have the same mentality that men have when it comes to how we operate and navigate this thing called life. A degree. You'd rather choose an 18-year-old pretty girl over a 30-year-old with a master's degree. Well, yeah, because the pretty girl appeals to my instincts. The pretty girl is what I'm wired to be attracted to. My nature doesn't say anything about a 30-year-old with a degree. If anything, my nature says, no, not that one. That one comes with all kinds of issues. Probably more than this 18-year-old pretty girl does. That one probably has kids. That one probably has emotional baggage. That one is falling out of her reproductive prime. This one is just getting into her reproductive prime. This one is like a blank slate. This one can learn to love me and be taught to love me the way that I need her to be taught to love me. This one is probably bitter from her past relationships. This one is going to project and try to make me out to be a man that I'm not. This one is going to make me cheat on her. This one is going to make me enjoy doing everything with her. This one looks much better on my arm. This 18-year-old looks much better on my arm than this 30-year-old master's student. I have no idea what women be thinking sometimes. I do. They don't. That's what it is. They don't. Women just don't understand men. And it's evident by the things that they say and the way they expect us to respond or react to certain things that they do. They really believe that men are going to be attracted to them because they have a degree and a career. We don't need to be. Your degree doesn't make me want to have sex with you. Your curves and your face and your voice and your walk. Those things make me want to have sex with you. I've never once looked at a woman who I didn't find attractive and she told me she had a degree and I'm like, what's up with it? Trying to come back to my place? Have a nightcap? I've never done that. And I don't think there's too many men in this world who have done that as well. So yes, I'm sorry that a lot of you ladies are unaware. Looks matter to men. Men like women who are aesthetically pleasing. Men respond to visual stimuli. We're aroused by visual stimuli. It's in our nature. Everything about men is predominantly visual when it comes to attraction. Our attraction is not predicated on your level of education, how well you did in school, or what career you have. The CEO of Google will date a woman at McDonald's if she looks good enough. A female CEO of a Fortune 500 company would not do the same. Hell, the manager at McDonald's probably wouldn't have sex with a subordinate. Men and women are different. We're sexually dimorphic. I'm sorry that this is a news flash to some of you, but it's the reality. And reality doesn't care about your feelings, ladies. And men don't care about degrees. Over and out.